What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the first podcast on the channel. The following is a conversation with Dan Solvay, an investor in Nio and fellow YouTuber. His channel will be in the description below, so make sure you check him out. We'll be answering questions from the supporters on the Nio Edition Instagram page, as well as social media platforms like Reddit. I'll name some of the questions right now so you can get a summary of the podcast. We will go over where we expect Nio to go in the next year, our guess on the stock's valuation end of this year, Nio's valuation, Nio's future development in comparison to Tesla, and many more great questions from the supporters. To support this podcast, simply hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hope you enjoy, and thank you. All right, so there's a lot to talk about. This is the first podcast, so cut us some slack. But we'll be answering all the questions inside of the Reddit page. I posted yesterday I'm doing a Nio podcast and to drop the questions, and we'll go over them in the podcast today. And we're going to be dropping this on the YouTube channel. So we have all these questions listed right here. As you can see, we got a lot of questions for Nio. So I know you wanted to talk about all the different ones, all the different EV companies, but there's a lot of people wanting to get answers.
Great. It's supply and demand,
That's exactly.
If people want to hear about Nio, we'll talk about Nio. No worries. Let's attack. You want to answer the first one?
Okay, so before we go into everything, we have to say these are our opinions. These are our thoughts. There's not really much information we have except what everybody else has already. You know what I mean? So we're just speculating. We have to put that out there.
We're biased. We're very biased because we own Nio stock and a lot of it.
Yeah. So the first one is, where do you expect Nio to be in 1 year? Most people are looking at the stock. So they're not really looking at the company. And for the stock, there's a lot of traders in the stock. There's a lot of people who are in and out of Nio. When you invest, you're only investing one time. You move the stock price rarely. The stock price doesn't move. The traders are moving it. That's why you see such volatility in the mornings. Traders are in it only in the morning, and then they get out. And then they're not in it anymore. They're just trading it. And Nio's also heavily shorted. So you have to understand that.
Absolutely.
But for Nio's stock price in a year, depending on how the overall market is, 12 months from now and not the end of the year, I think Nio sees better growth. I think the stock price will see better growth depending on, how the regulations turn out, how much more information we get. Right now, we're just uncertain. But in a year, what do you think? What do you think Nio's stock price will be in a year? 12 months from now.
Yes, I think there's two things. There's the macro and the micro. So macro depends, just as you said, where will the market be? Will it be will we be in the bear market or the bull market? That's number one. And second is micro, is what will happen with the company, exactly with Nio. So my forecast for 2022, and I did a YouTube on that, check it out. We will put the link. It will be 191,000 cars for the estimate of 2022. So basically, I think that this is already priced into the price. And if this figure will be bigger, so if we will have 250,000, or as we saw in some news just previously, 600,000 vehicles per year in 2022. If we see 600,000, I think that the price will be at about $80.
$80. So $80.
Easily, easily.
We're in
If
September right now. So $80 from
yes,
12 months from now. So next
yes.
September, you think
Let's
Neo
let
will be 80.
yeah. Yes, let's put it a little bit. Maybe let's differentiate a little bit the market. If it's bull and they make 600,000 capacity in 3 quarters of 2022, they will be in 100, in my opinion. If it's a bear market and they make the same results, it will be at $80. If it's a bull market, but they're at about 300 or from 200 to 300,000 vehicles delivered, I think we will be in about $70 zone. And if it's bear market and they make from 100 to 200,000, from 200 to 300,000 vehicles in 3 quarters of 22, I think that the price will be anywhere from 50 to 60.
Okay, and what do you think about Neo's valuation? Do you
Valuation
think
right now,
the market cap, so we got the market cap at 60 billion. The Reddit traders, the Reddit and all the hype stock, brought it to the Reddit and the Neo Day 2021 brought it to $67. So was that
yes.
just like, do you think that was just hype, or do you think that had to do with the company? Like, do you think that's $67 is its value?
There is always both. There is always both. It just depends which percentage, in which proportion. So for sure, there's hype and there's the company's growth and so on. I think there was a lot of hype, but I think that there's a lot of hype and expectations, basically. And third, what company actually does. So the real thing. So and the price. Of course, there's the shorts, the traders and all that stuff, but I'm not even taking this into account. It just creates, traders create volatility, but they don't create the trend. I mean, they cannot break the trend. It's very difficult for them to break the trend. So basically, I think that there's three things: hype, Neo expectation, and Neo real, what they really do. And when the price was 67, there was a lot of hype, probably I would say 50% hype, expectations were at 40, and we didn't have a lot of data. I mean, in 2020 they were making 43,000 vehicles. So in real, in the things they really did, there was about 10% of real things that they do, But if we look at today's price, it's 38. I think that the proportion between hype, expectation, and real is probably, so for hype, there's of course hype, but I think it would be like a 25 instead of 50. For expectations, there's like maybe 30% of expectations, and the real is 45, because they're making more cars. So basically the estimate of 21 is already 2 times. So they're enjoying a more than double growth. So basically they're showing more real what they're made of, basically,
Yeah, I read in an article the other day that Neo is actually, its actual valuation is at $45. So with all the numbers, with all the deliveries, it's that analyst valued Neo at $45, and right now we're sitting at 38. Another thing I wanted to ask you and hear your thoughts and opinions. Do you think the robo-taxi service with Mobileye is priced in? Do you think that the new vehicles that are coming out next year, do you think any of that priced in? Do you think like
Mhm.
Have the investors already, priced in all of these things that Nio is doing in the future, like they're setting up for?
Yes. So very, very good question, but it's always always a lot of shades of gray, as I like to say. So robot taxi for sure is priced in. It's just a question of which percentage. And here, let's compare Nio and Tesla. So Tesla, which is at 750 billion, and Nio, which is at 660 billion. I would say that robotaxi is more priced in Tesla than it is in Nio, the robotaxi. So a lot of people speculate that Tesla will become the first to get into the robotaxi, but as of today, I don't think that probably the robotaxi is not really priced in Nio. I don't think it is. If we compare, for example, let's put 100 if someone would have the robotaxi. For example, Tesla has a robotaxi, it's 100%. Right now, Tesla would be at about 50%, I would say. So basically, people know that they will do the robotaxi. They don't know if they will be first, but they know that they will do it for sure. It's just a question of time. And basically, they would be at about 50. For Nio, I think we're under 5 right now. In terms of, scale to 100, we would be at 5. So I don't think people are really pricing robotaxi for the moment. Yeah, my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think?
In an article I read, I think Kathy Woods said that the robotaxi service itself will reach 400 billion in market cap by 2025. So that's only 3 years away.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I like, as fast as Nio did it, I think that's great. As fast as
Mm-hmm.
Nio is actually doing this robotaxi service compared to Tesla, like Nio is already becoming profitable way faster than Tesla. And that leads us to our next question. How do you expect Nio's future development in comparison to Tesla?
Mm-hmm. You want me to answer that, or you want to go first?
Whatever you want. I'll give my thoughts and opinions after. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that there's two things. First is the hard, meaning the car, meaning the production, the number of production. And second is the soft, basically the robotaxi. You're doing your autopilot and all this artificial intelligence, all this AI work, which is considered as the most expensive work on the market from the programmers. You're only doing it, or you're only investing this huge amount of money just to get in the robotaxi. Because the robotaxi is a huge market. I think Katie talked about it, but it's not difficult to calculate it. But it's a 10 to 20 trillion dollar market. So basically, you have, if you compare Nio to Tesla, and again, I would refer people to check out the EV review I did on YouTube. Why? Because I do an estimate of production for all the vehicles, Nio and Tesla included, up to 2030. And I opened the file right now and I'm looking at it. And basically, I'm looking at the numbers of 2030. Nio, in my opinion, or in my calculations, with the growth rate parameters that I did, would have 2.5 million vehicles delivered in 2030 or produced, and Tesla would have 14. In the Tesla report, they stated that they would do 20. I think it's a little bit optimistic. Let's keep it to 14. So basically, you would have in the heart, you can see that Tesla is 6 times bigger than Nio in terms of production. But in terms of if you differentiate, we're taking into account that right now or in 2030, you would have the robotaxi, basically the 100%. If you would have this 100% of robotaxi both for Tesla and both for Nio, all the margins would be there, basically. So you would have 15% probably, or maybe 10, maybe even less, from 5 to 10% margins would be on the manufacturing, the battery, the car, and the rest probably, I would say 90 to 95% margin and profits would be in the autopilot robotaxi. So if Tesla with the robotaxi would cost approximately, I did a study, it was 5 trillion without a robotaxi and without the Tesla bot. Tesla bot is another huge deal that people, we just don't have information about it, but it's going to be a huge thing. I just hope we don't have a world revolution when that comes out, like a real revolution, because all this Tesla bots, they will just take
people's jobs.
Exactly. 6 billion of people's jobs would be taken. So that would stir the world very, very enormously, So, but I'm not taking even the Tesla bot.
It might lead to more innovation. It could potentially, and it might lead to more jobs.
More skilled jobs for sure.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of coders, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think that in the future, coding will become like the person that cleaning something, like a primitive job. There will be just a lot of layers of coding. There will be super hard coding, like artificial. There will probably be more something even bigger than artificial intelligence and more complicated than artificial intelligence. I don't know what, but something, or maybe some layer of artificial intelligence and something like to make a web page or something. And that everyone could probably do. So just to return to the question you asked me, if I like to put figures on things, to make it more objective. I would say that Tesla, without the robotaxi, if they produce 14 million cars by 2030, they will be worth 5 trillion. Why? Because they will have a very good autopilot. Maybe it's not going to be robotaxi, but it's going to be very, 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 very. As you know, right now, as Ellen said, they're working on the 0.00001%. It's always working on that 0.00001% that makes the 0.999999 into 99999 and 1 basically someday. So it's all about where are you? Are you at 0.99? Or 0.999 or 0.949 or 10 nines or 100 nines, So that's we're close, but it's very complicated to do this at today's day. So basically, Tesla with not a complete robotaxi would be worth at 5 trillion, in my opinion. The calculations I did, Nio probably would be worth, if they would have the same robotaxi with the same margins, I think that they would cost about 30 to 40,000 per autopilot with an 80 to margins. That would put Nio, if they could succeed to what Tesla does, but do it 6 times smaller because they produce 6 times less cars, they would be at about 8 at the value of Tesla now. So basically 750 billion. You know, but if they make the autopilot, if there is a complete robotaxi, then the Tesla would not cost 5 trillion, but would be probably around 10 to 15 trillion. And that would put Nio in a prospective market cap. So basically 10, you divide by 6, you would get like 1.3 billion. And 15 divided by 6, you would get like 2.3 billion. So to resume, Nio without autopilot, but with a good pilot, with a good FSD, but not a full drive one, but very good quality. They could get 30 to 40,000 per FSD with an 18-19% margin. They would be worth at about today's Tesla valuation, so 750, 850 billion. And if they make the 100% robotaxi, they would be probably at 1.3 to 2.3 billion trillion valuation. So these are the things we're talking about. That's why when people say, what do you think gonna happen in 3 months? I don't care. You know, what's gonna happen in 2 years? I don't care. What I care is, will Nio be the leader in 2030? And if they are, the evaluations that I just stated will be, these are the numbers that will come out, basically, if they will make it to 2030. So I'm betting, will they be one of the top 5 leaders? I'm betting then yes, you know, and if they will be, it's going to be huge. It's going to be, so basically now they're at 60. If we're at 850, that would do a 12x, and that would do a 36x if there is a autopilot. So I think that people should also think about it like macro, like what's going to happen 10 years from now. And it's not only the manufacturing in 10 years, it's 80% or 90% of it will be the autopilot, the robotaxi.
Yeah, that robotaxi service completely destroys Uber.
Absolutely.
It adds Uber as a company to Nio.
It will not destroy
Tesla.
Uber. Absolutely. I think that it will not probably destroy Uber. It's just that Uber will be using Tesla cars if Tesla would want them to use them. But I don't know, will they do it? Maybe it will be a Tesla robotaxi or a Nio robotaxi, or maybe it will be Uber, who will also have like 20 or 30% of the market share, but will use Nio cars, Tesla cars, and so on. I don't know how the market...
So you see a collaboration with Uber and Tesla, or potentially maybe not Nio, but...
You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Tesla will produce the maximum amount of cars that it can produce in any case. So the distribution after doesn't matter. Absolutely. Yeah. Who cares who will drive it, Uber or Tesla? No one cares, you know? But if there is a robot taxi, and knowing Elon Musk, knowing his in-house approach, I think that he will keep everything in-house, including the robotaxi. Not including, but it's going to be the first thing that is going to be in-house because all the profits and the margins are there. So to answer your question, no. Probably Uber will not be allowed to use Tesla cars.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the next question. And I can answer this one. So will Nio open a factory in the U.S.? It's gonna take a while because Nio has to completely render their cars, so they have to change up their whole like what if the US doesn't like battery swapping? Maybe battery swapping will be, good in New York. Maybe it will be good in San Francisco. But a lot of places in California, I think the superchargers will do best. I don't think the US will adopt the battery swap as a service. I mean, they might, but the US just has this, it's like too many opinions. It's Western media. The Western media has things mixed up, and they just don't like Chinese products. They think they're complete crap. You know what I mean? But I think Nio, you saw the 5-star ratings they got in Europe. I think Neo's gonna really show that, these Chinese cars are they're really high performance. They're really well built. They look like Nio itself looks amazing. Like their cars look amazing. I don't think any other Chinese car looks as simple, futuristic, comfortable, sleek. Nio has that. And this leads into another question of like the consolidation in EVs. Like there's too many EVs popping up. And it's like the ones that are already thriving are gonna continue thriving. The Nio has billions in cash already. They're gonna continue thriving. They're not close to bankruptcy anymore.
Absolutely.
They're gonna continue no matter what. They're gonna grow no matter what. No matter what, if their stock is doing bad, doing good, they're gonna keep on growing. William Lee is just silent. He's silent, but he keeps moving forward. And I know that's probably a problem for investors right now in the short term. Like we don't have much information about the regulations, the crackdown, but that's what they're doing. They're just moving forward. That's literally their slogan, moving forward. Bringing the future. The future is tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Just if I can complete your answer, the biggest risk I see here is the risk of delisting, the risk of V-structure, geopolitical risk, regulation risk. This is the biggest risk I see for Nio, Xpeng, and all the other Chinese guys, rather than the production. Can they produce? Will they have the technologies? Of course they will, because they're backed either by Alibaba, either by Tencent, the huge companies and smart companies. But the questions will be more in the V structure and geopolitical things, not in the business, sector. So I don't know if someone on Reddit asked this question, but what do you think about the V structure and the geopolitical risks and the regulations? So what do you think? Can this become a real problem? Can these our favorite companies like Nio and Xpeng, Li Auto, Nio Technologies, be delisted? What do you think?
Well, we saw Luckin Coffee get delisted, but Luckin Coffee is not a car brand. You know what I mean? Like it's not a electric vehicle. If
there's no data there.
Yeah, there's not enough data, but the best thing to do is probably keep up with the best thing to do is to get on Twitter and find someone who is interested in talking about that stuff. And they might have more information, they live actually in China. And for us that, don't live in China, it's kind of hard. We're not going to get as much data. We have to really look for it on the internet. And then while looking for it on the internet, we got to make sure that it's proof, it's right. We got to make sure, it's not opinionated and it's true.
Yes.
And then, but yeah, there's not enough data.
Here, the question is not, I would say, even about data. It's question about the relations between Chinese and US. You always, I think, have to keep in mind that US has to stay number one. US cannot be, when you're number one, your worst nightmare is to be number two. Because after being number two, you're always going to be in some way, like 10th, 20th, and so on. You're going to lose because you're going to be in competition. So not to be in competition, you have to be number one. US right now is number one. And that's going to bring challenges for China. For US and for China, because US doesn't want to, will not want to give this first place to anyone else. It's not about the China is good or bad. It's just that it's moving so quickly and so rapidly, advancing the technologies and everything else, the production and becoming smarter, getting in the high margin stuff, building the chips as well. That US just have to do something to calm them down, or maybe so the question here, will they completely put China on sanction, put the chip manufacturers on sanction, to block them completely, and put people on sanction who will deal with China? That's the worst case probably scenario. And the normal case scenario is, would they just maybe want to slow China down in a way, So here we don't know. It all also depends on the president. Biden thinks one thing, Trump thought another thing. In this case, they thought the same thing, But there's always the Senate. It's not like in Russia, You have basically one person who decides it will be like this and it will be like this. in US, you have the Senate, you have the president, you have the lobbyist, and so on. So it will be very interesting to see where the situation with China will go. And right now, I think that there will be very good relations with India. And I think that US will become more friends with India to counter the China, basically. They will be friends with Taiwan, with, I'm sorry to talk about geopolitics here.
Yeah,
but
no,
I think
it's all right. I don't really like talking about
that's
politics.
The biggest risk.
But
that's
I guess you have to.
It's not here. You just have to. It's not politics. It's geopolitics. And unfortunately, for us people who like to invest, we hate geopolitics. We're not politicians. We're like business people. We're investors. But geopolitics it grows in proportion, unfortunately, and we have to take it into account more and more, which is it's unfortunate, but unfortunately it's the way it is.
Yeah, it just integrates itself.
Absolutely.
Okay, you wanna move on to these questions, try to get all these guys done, so we can
Of course.
Okay, this is a pretty long one. So he says, what do you think about Nio having big percent swings? After what conditions need to be met in order for Nio and Chinese stocks, in order for Chinese investors to start moving from housing to China stocks? And what needs to be done, in your opinion, before people view Chinese stocks as more stable? Clearly, we are filling in gaps in an unwritten rule book once again with Chinese stocks, and it won't be set until things settle down. He says, why would Nio become profitable necessarily raise the shares price? It appears to me once Nio becomes profitable, everyone expects to rocket up from that exact moment in time. But in speculation growth, people invest and add more capital as we head closer to that expectation, not exactly when it happens. Could I see institutions add Nio because they're profitable? Yes, but it's absurd that people think Nio will trade sideways until they are profitable. That just doesn't make sense. At the point, it's not investing. People invest with hopes of Nio becoming profitable or grow. When it already happens, people will have already started investing. So that just leads back to is everything priced in?
These
swings priced in?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But basically, if I am, yeah, you want to go on? Go.
We're just looking at the charts. Like people don't love the stock. There's people in here that do not love the stock. And when you love a stock, you tend to just keep on holding it. And when you love a company, you just keep on holding it. But these are traders. You know, there's people that are trading this stock. There's obviously a huge amount of supply and a huge amount of demand at these levels right now. But they're trading the stock. They're not in love with the stock. They just get their money and they leave. They don't fall in love with it. The Reddit people, they don't fall in love with the stock. They get their money and then they leave. And they'll come back when they see it go up again. And obviously it's not going up right now. And that's why we see the big percentage swings. You know, that's just the trader's mindset. That's what traders are doing. Investors, they just buy it once. They're not trading it. They're just buying it once. That's
Absolutely.
because that's why there's volatility. That's why Nio has big percent swings. It's the traders, it's not the investors.
Can I complete?
Yeah.
So there's two things, as usual. First is the well, as I said already, micro and macro. So macro, I mean, look, right now Nio is not, okay, let's talk about micro. Nio is not making money right now, okay? Then it will eventually make money. Will it become less volatile? Of course. Why? Because the base, their market cap, in other words, will be bigger. So the absolute value, for example, of 5 billion, you know, if right now the company is worth 60 billion and it goes up 6 billion, it will be a volatility of 10%. But then if there are 600 billion and they go up 6 billion, you know, that's like, it's no longer 10%. So in absolute values, it maybe will not change, you know, or not change as much. But in the percentage value, the bigger the base, the bigger the capitalization, the less volatility in percentage terms there will be. I mean, it's logic. It's like math, you know? That's number one. But so basically Nio right now doesn't make profit. It's highly volatile. Everyone is speculating. You have a lot of traders because traders, they make money when the stock goes up, when the stock goes down. They don't care as long as it's volatile. Yeah, people can ask me, do I swing Nio? Or do I love Nio? Of course I love Nio. Do I swing it? Of course I swing. You know, loving and not swinging or swinging doesn't have anything to do with it. You know, it's just that the percentage at which you swing. I swing at 20%. If I see the stock goes up 60, I sell 20%. When I see it goes down to 35, I buy back at 20%, or maybe at even more. You know, because I buy the same amount but more stock, so I get my position even bigger. That's what I was doing. So basically, after, what will happen is that Nio, if all things go well, will become bigger, will make profit, will be 400 billion, and everything will be beautiful. It will be like Tencent, basically. So question, will it be volatile as well? Yes, because there can be macro things, just like the ones happen in the regulation right now. You know, when the Chinese government says, guys, we're going to put all the video games out, or all the educational companies, you know, non-profitable, everything goes down. And even Tencent, which is super, and Alibaba, which is super profitable, which has huge growth year on year, will be super volatile. They all lost 50% in 1 month. It's super volatile. So it all depends on the micro and macro, and basically how the Communist Party will behave. Not behave. It's not a good word, but how they will regulate basically the market, how they would want the market to work according to them, because they have to worry about companies' profits a little bit less than us investors. They worry about the people. So if they see that Alibaba and Tencent and JD, three of them, control 80% of the market, it means they're monopolistic and other people cannot develop. So they have to break them down a little bit or put some regulations. So can regulations be healthy? Of course they can. And that's precisely what I think happens in China now. It will be healthy regulations. There's a little extremity. They went with the educational companies, by putting them completely non-profit. There they killed completely the sector, and putting all the investors who were not invested in China, like completely on guard. They will never invest in China again, never even think about it. But those who, for example, I hold Alibaba, I hold Tencent, I hold a lot of, Chinese stock. Will I be continue? Of course I will. I'm in it for the long term,
Yeah. And, education stocks are 100% different from what we're talking about right now. Nio is it's one of a kind. Nio, XPeng, they're one of a kind. These are the new brands these are the new companies that are going to stay. The consolidation in the EV market, all these new EVs that are popping up, they're going to have a way harder time. They're going to have,
absolutely.
That's inflation. That's the saturated market. The ones that are already up will thrive already. Excuse me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like Nio is also. Do you think Nio is successful in China right now? Do you think they're already up and running? They're never gonna go back down. Do you think they're already up and running? They're safe in China. Not even talking about the stock. Like, their company is just gonna keep on growing. The only way is up.
I think it will. But it's so in the start. The company is producing less than 100,000 vehicles per year. They're small right now. Of course, they have Napoleon plans. They have very good plans. But when Tesla was producing 100,000 cars in 2017. So basically, they need a little bit more time. But to answer your question, did they pass the Rubicon? Can they not go back to bankruptcy? And of course they can. But why would they? The plans are nice. They got the money. Just do your thing. And the thing right now, they were building the base for this 2-3 years. Now they're gonna really erupt. They're going to have huge growth right now.
And right now they're just building a template. They're just building a template. Do you agree?
Of course.
They're building the template.
The Nio Park will be huge. It will have huge synergies, between all the manufacturer, how do you call them? The distribution chain. Everything will be in the same place. There will be a lot of optimization for logistics. They're going to have a lot of margins. The margin's going to go up with this because there will be a lot of optimizations, So it's the Nio Park is a huge thing. It's going to be really a huge thing. I think only they're going to produce like 1 million cars.
I agree. All right, let's just roll through these questions real quick so we can get them done and we can talk about our questions that we wrote down. But let's get these guys' questions out. So, what is your best guess on stock price the end of this year So not in 12 months from now, the end of this year. So you're talking January 2022, December, the last day of this December. And
maybe. Same
I'm not
price.
gonna give a price. I'm not gonna give a price, but I'm gonna say it will be anywhere from $30 to $55. It would just be in that range. Why throw a price out if
from
it's
0
at 30,
to 100?
if it's at $30 and we have more information on the the regulations, that's a win. If we have more security on the regulations, it's at $30. That's a win. If it drops below, I would not want Nio dropping below $30, below what it's already almost. I would not want it to drop below $30 because that would signify some sort of, I think in my opinion, would signify a black swan event. And that's another thing we should talk about, the black swan event. A black swan event potential, because I don't want to put fear into anyone, but you got to look at that stuff. You know what I mean? You have to look at that stuff. What is your plan? What if your plan is if this ticker symbol NIO, this 3-letter, investment that you're making in goes below $30? What is your plan? If it breaks the biggest support it's had all year, what is your plan? What are you going to do? You're going to sell it and get back in? You're going to hold it? You're going to buy more? What are you going to do? It's better to have a plan, I'm not just going to throw some price targets out there. Have a plan for your unique investment. If you're risking too much, the risks of the stock and you're still investing into it, you need to have a plan.
Some people like casino, they want to invest the money that they borrowed and go to the casino. Okay. I mean, each person is different, but I would put a price tag. I think that if everything goes as it goes now, I mean, not super good, not super bad. I think we're going to be in the same price range, plus $5. It really doesn't matter where it will be in the next 3 months. The most important thing is the black swan event. What do you think would cause this? What would be the black swan event? For me right now, the biggest black swan event is not the chip shortage, is not the production problems or whatever, manufacturing of the factory, or the slowdowns. This is all not super important. The most important is geopolitics right now. This can be the only black swan, I would say. The 90% of all the black swans, that would be the geopolitical stuff, with the delisting, with all this. If that will not happen, or, things will settle, I think that nothing can stop Nio. Nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely. Excuse me. Yeah, that's the only thing holding Nio back. Honestly, that is
absolutely
the only thing. There's nothing wrong with the company. There might be some, I just look at Tesla. Tesla's in China. They're thriving. Why can't Nio be why can't their own country be thriving too? And then also why can Tesla go to China if Nio can't go to US? It wouldn't make sense. Why would both of the countries want to lose their? That's money, That's money for them.
Absolutely. And they Chinese. I'm sorry to cut you, but Chinese have a good collateral for Nio in the face of Tesla. They have Tesla, which is in China. So US will not do too much to the list. Maybe there's a fear from Chinese of wanting to delist Chinese companies. There's even a bigger risk from China wanting to delist from US than US wanted to delist Chinese from US. I think I would put it that way. And if China really wants wants to put borders, and get everyone back to Hong Kong or even China mainland stock exchange, that would not be good for us. Will they go this far? We do not know.
Yeah, we have no data. We have no information, no real information from any of the companies. We're just literally looking
we will know when it will be too late.
Yeah, the best information though I can say is copy and pasting Chinese characters, so the Chinese language inside of Twitter, and then searching up through that, see if they talk about Nio directly from the country, or finding politicians in China, that love politics and they talk about it a lot. Following them and keeping up with them, that's probably the best information we can get as of right now.
Absolutely. And you know what also? Yeah.
You go.
I just wanted to add that a very good, thermometer for this is companies like Didi, which have the data and which are like in some difficult relationship with the party, Alibaba, is to see how, and that's what basically the market looks at. It looks at them. If Didi gonna go down 30%, it will take Nio with them as well. I mean, if you look and Didi goes down 30%, it's probably Nio will go down 10% as well. But if Didi case is like to some extent, there will be less problems and more questions will be solved. It will go up, and so will Nio as well because of the macro that we discussed.
I agree. Okay, so let's move on to the questions so we get everyone's question out. When would Cathie Wood buy Nio? When the regulations stop. when it's a secure stock, 100%. Like the same reason why Warren Buffett backs BYD. Yeah, that would be my answer. Cathie Woods already knows that China, even Charlie Munger said this, that China is going to be, their innovation is going to be growing like 2 times, they're going to be growing, so not even 2 times, like 10 times. Like look at their innovation that they have already. It might not be quality, but they're on the road. They're on the road to the future, faster than we are. They're definitely, look at their architecture, in China. Look at their architecture. Look at their look how fast they do things. But that would be my answer for that.
Yes, I would say that just to get to your point that China is building fast. Of course it does. There's no problem with that. The only problem is the regulations and the geopolitical, unfortunately, question. That's the only problem. But at the same time, that's why you can get Alibaba at $150. If there wouldn't be any regulation problems, Alibaba would cost $400. So it's, a crisis is equals to an opportunity. So it's just for you to see if you want to, which risk are you, willing to take, basically. If you
right
think
now
there's the situation,
high risk, high reward. That's the ratio.
Absolutely.
100%.
And it always will be the same. And just to answer, when will Cathie buy Nio? I think probably never, because buying Nio, the best time to buy Nio was like when it was $10, $2, or even now, $40. but it will not be the case when it's $100 or $150. I mean, it's going to be a little bit too late, probably.
Okay, let's move on to the next end of year price prediction. We talked about that earlier. Any idea if we can follow how the offering is moving along? Do you know if the Malaysian factories have opened up? There
was a Malaysian factory?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up, honestly, to talk about that. It says Nio will acquire other EVs, Li Auto or merger, etc.
The Golden Three. Maybe they will. Xpeng, Nio, and Li Auto. Maybe they will at some point.
In my opinion,
but
Nio,
not for the moment.
Yeah. I mean, there's Lotus. Like, are you talking about if the Gemini brand comes out, will they do a merger? Or will they do an IPO for Gemini? Or do you think that's what he's talking about?
I think that he's talking about will Nio acquire other EV like Li Auto? So basically, will Nio acquire Li Auto or like Xpeng, like the Golden Three brand? Will they consolidate basically the Golden Three? I think he's referring to this. I think no, but maybe that would make sense. But they're working separately. I mean, they have good results. Once it doesn't work, and if they stall and there's no more nothing is happening because they would need more synergies to progress, maybe they can consolidate. But I don't see that happening in the near 3 years even, or 5 years for sure.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I would throw this out there that Nio would work perfectly with Apple. I don't see that happening, but they would work perfectly with Apple. It's just their lifestyle.
Crushed by Apple. They would perfectly get crushed by Apple, you mean? They would work at 2% margins like Foxconn. like slaves,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Apple can buy them out.
Did you see Apple buy? When was Apple buying someone out for a good price?
Apple wanted to buy Tesla.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
At 10 bill.
Yeah, and he said no. Elon said no, right?
But come on, 10 bill, come on.
Yeah, no. Hell
That's
no.
funny. That's funny.
What? It just doesn't make sense. Just look at them now. Okay. This guy said 45 end of year, sideways trading until profitable, mid 2022. Yeah, I could,
Yeah, probably
that's what I said, from $30 to $55. Just watch that. I'm more on the trader's background. I have a trader's mindset. I do love the stock.
And me an investor mindset.
I do have an investor's mindset. Like I hold Nio. I have an investment inside of Nio, but I also trade Nio. If you had 1,000 shares at $30 and you sold at 55, you just made $20,000.
Absolutely.
And you just made it in 2 months. That's all you had to do.
Absolutely.
Buy it at 30, sold at 55. If you didn't
Mm-hmm.
sell, you're 25. You just made 25% of your gains, and now you have the risk of it going back to your average price. So that's the trader's mindset.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you can see like in the morning, like Nio is a very good stock to trade, especially right now. You trade Nio, you're up in the morning. You sell out, you're down in the morning, or you sell out, you just made your whole uh your week's profit just from trading Nio. Like as you
Mm-hmm.
can see, if you can look at these candlesticks, they're huge. They're like look at how tall the wick goes. So it's pumped up in the morning, and by the end, and it's just a pump and dump every single morning these past 2 weeks.
Yep.
That's taking it. You can take advantage of that volatility. So in the trader's mindset,
Exactly.
they're not in love with the stock. They just want the money.
But this strategy of yours of trading would not work when it was like $1.5 and it went directly to 65.
Uh,
The strategy, it differs. If you don't want to lose the bus, probably best not to sell everything. That's why my strategy is 80-20. 80% you hold for a long term if you believe in the stock, and if you don't believe in the stock, you should not be investing in the first place. But and the 20% you trade, because yes, you can have situation as now when it goes up to 60, then it goes down to 35, then it goes up again to 45, then it goes down again to 35, and you can play on the volatility. But you need to do it on large amounts. If not, you're just, when you want to make a lot of money in absolute value, trading big or investing like in S&P, for example. For example, you have $1 million. You just put it in an S&P and you have 100,000. What else would you want? It's perfect. But if to make 100,000 on trading with smaller amounts, maybe you need a lot of skills and a lot of luck to gain this $100,000.
yeah, it's all about leverage. So if you're leveraging, you'll make more money.
Yeah.
on the
But leverage is risk. Absolutely, leverage is risk, and you can lose everything as well.
yeah.
So not losing your initial investment is key, as Buffett says. Rule number one: never lose money.
Yeah, and it's probably also best for Nio to, like, if you were investing in Nio right now, it would have been best to take your profits at least 5%. Investing in Nio, especially if you've held over a year, to not get the short-term capital, tax stuff, all that tax stuff. But it was probably better to take out 5%. Take out 5%. You add more where we're headed right now, depending on your average price. But this last comment says sideways until profitable, but we were in the $50s and $60 twice this year. Just watch how they will announce the offering is done, or just watch how they will announce that the offering is done, and we will be at 43 to 45 by the end of the month. So that's pretty realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And right now for Nio in the short term, I'm really looking at the overall market. So these are the NASDAQ futures, and so the overall market, we haven't had a 10% correction since March 2021, but we've had 3, and every time we've had a correction of at least 10%, we go up at least another 8% higher than what we were. and in this case, yeah, another like 8%. So it's important we watch the overall market. Nio's not just one stock. It's gonna move with the overall market.
Trading is for the young guys like you, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
For me, when someone asks me what's gonna happen in 3 months, like, it's I'm looking at 5 years, 10 years. You know,
there's a difference.
I'm a grandfather, like investor. You know, like a.
Yeah.
But it works. It works. Until now, it works.
There's a huge difference between a trader and investor.
Yes. It's a character type of character, you know. Some person like to drive one car every other whatever, like a week, and the other guy, you know, he just drives the same car for all of his life and is taking care of it, you know. It's just how the character of the person. It's not good or bad. So what else?
Those are all the questions.
Okay.
Those are all the questions, so we can really just go over whatever we want now.
Okay. Well, in terms of Nio, I think it's pretty much all. I mean, we tackled all the issues. I would say what else? What is the new Nio? You know, do you see a new Nio that could erupt? And
see, that's
that
the thing.
Have a 10X.
There's no new Coca-Cola. There's no new Coca-Cola brand. There's just Pepsi, and that Pepsi of Nio is Xpeng. It's only those two. I mean, Liado's cool. They're like a Fanta. You know what I mean? They're like the Fanta. But you know, the Coke and Pepsi, that's Nio and Xpeng. China.
Before Coke buys them. For sure. Yeah, Xpeng. I like Xpeng. Or we can just like, what are your favorite companies right now? Like from the, the small ones. For me, it's I would say Fisker.
I like Fisker. I like Fisker.
Fisker, I swung like 4 times already. I'm not a trader. I'm an investor, but I swing it like, very nicely 4 times. I bought at 10, I sell at 20, I then buy it at 12. No, at 15, I sell it at 25. Then I bought it again at 11. So I'm swinging at huge time because it's very good. Because that the product will be like in a year from now, hopefully, and it just flies. You know, it's like a leverage. Fisker is like leverage basically. You know, and it's U.S. company, so there's no geopolitics. So it's just great for a swing. Xpeng, I love Xpeng.
Lucid Motors was a great play if you got in at Lucid. If you got in at that $15 mark on September 2nd. If you can see my chart, these zones are. Can you see my page? You can see my chart.
Nope.
I
see the Reddit questions.
Oh, you only see the Reddit questions?
Yeah. I know the Lucid chart.
Can you see it now?
I know the Lucid. Now I see it. Yeah.
This zone has not been moved. That has not been moved. So that would have been the best buying opportunity. But I have not moved this since over here.
Did you buy?
I bought it at 18 and I sold it. So if it hits my zone, I'm buying it. Most of the time, if it hits the zone, like it hits it perfectly. You can buy. You could have bought here. You could have bought down here. or you could have bought at the end again right here. So you could have bought right here, right here. We take a look. You could have bought right here, or right here. You'd still be up here.
Yeah.
So that's how I do my zones. You could buy
I
1,
don't.
2, 3,
I mean,
and it would be up there. So it wouldn't
Lucid,
matter where you bought.
I have to like. I have to like the company. I think that Fisker is more like Nio, you know, working in partnerships, and I mean, it's just a cheaper version of Nio in terms of not cheaper, but cheaper to buy, basically, because it's at the early stage, you know. But Lucid, and it's a mass market. It's a mass market. It's a 35,000 car. So it's US, you know, and it looks very good. And he designed
Lucid isn't a $35,000 car. Lucid is luxury. Like I'm pretty sure they have.
I'm talking about Fisker. I'm talking about Fisker.
Yes, okay, yeah, yes. Fisker.
Yes, but Lucid, yeah, that's the reason I like Fisker. And I'm trading Fisker because to trade something or swing, I in any case have to like the company. Lucid I don't like too much because their car is like 150,000. Yeah. It's to tell you the truth, I don't like the design too much. You know, I'm a little bit. I don't like the design, but Xpeng I don't like the design as well. You know, to tell you the truth.
What do you think about Xpeng's double butterfly doors? I think they're sick. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're sick, but you will not make all your money on those butterfly doors. Just like on the Model X, it's not cool, where the money is made.
It's a cool addition.
It's cool addition. But you make money on the Fisker Ocean 35,000 car. You make money on the Model 3, Model Y car. You make on the P5, you know, on the X3, the Xpeng. That's where the money is made, in the mass market, you know.
Yeah, and when Nio makes their mass market car, you know, even from 40,000 to 35, I think that car is gonna be one of the best.
It makes a difference.
It's gonna be one of the best.
ET5 is gonna be huge.
It's gonna be super valuable.
ET5. Absolutely. They should make ET5, and I think they're working on it. And after they should make an 83. I know they will not make 83 probably because they have another brand. It's going to be a Nio controlled brand, which will work on the mass market and which will have another brand, not Nio, which will be different.
Gemini.
You know?
It's just like GM. Gemini. It's like General Motors.
Yes. Because you said that word, but I didn't understand. What a Gemini? What is that thing? But now I understand. Yeah, Gemini, probably. Yeah. Exactly. So it's all in the mass market, number one. And the second is the robotaxi, the artificial intelligence. You know, you have to get it there. You get it there, you get the margins. So yes, that's about. I think we covered everything. Let's leave something for we can do it like every 2 weeks or every 1 month. You know, to keep people on in the news. You know.
Yeah, this is definitely like the first podcast. I'm not really worried about how the quality is. You know, I'm just trying to conversate, and if they like it, they like it. I enjoy talking about it, so that's why I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
It's not really as much as like I'm trying to grow my YouTube or anything. I just enjoy talking about all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we should definitely keep this going. Keep going.
Absolutely.
Get some more information.
We will.
You know, update it, and just grow from there.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So you will record this and send it to me as well. Like this, I can put it on my YouTube. And how do you want to do this?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. So
okay.
I'm gonna put your YouTube in the description. I'm gonna put I'm gonna make an intro before this, just talking about everything that we talked about. Put put a summary on it, and then simple as that.
All right. Great. I'm doing a review now on a truffle company. I found a truffle company, I think, and I'm finishing the review. I wanted to do it today, but I think it's, what time is it now? Like 7:00 already in the evening. I will not have time. I will drop it tomorrow. It will be very interesting. So stay tuned for that as well.
Sounds good.
And it's not Chinese for once. So no geopolitical risks.
Yeah, I'll tune in on that one. I'll tune in on that one for sure.
Okay, brother.
Support the channel.
Great.
Yeah, there we go. How long is the podcast? How long was this?
I don't know. How do you?
I think we did it for about an hour.
Yeah,
45
probably.
minutes maybe.
It was intense. We covered everything.
Yeah, we pretty much went through everything. All right. So I'm gonna end it right here. We can stay on the chat, but I'm gonna end it right here.
All right.
And I'm gonna call you back on Instagram. So then we can figure it all out.
Perfect.
All right, cool.
See you.
All right, see you later. Thank you so much.
See you, brother.
All right.
Yes, see you.